welcome to The Breakdown. We're super happy to have you on the podcast. It's been a bit of a hiatus since we've recorded an episode, and I can't think of a better way to kick back off with an exciting guest, someone in the local Ottawa area. We've got Houry Avedissian here, and hopefully I'm saying that one right, but I did my best. I want to welcome you to the podcast. We're excited to have you.
Thank you.
I would love to kick off with an opportunity just to boast about yourself a little bit. I know there's a lot of amazing things that you've accomplished, and I want to give you the floor. Love to hear some things you've accomplished, a little bit about you, and then we can jump right into things.
Okay, so a little bit about me. Well, this is our presence here on Preston, so welcome to my beautiful office.
It's gorgeous. I really like it.
Thank you. We love to showcase it. We love to have people over like yourselves in this space, and to me, this building that we transformed from that rusty old industrial broken down building, and the fact that we're able to make that change here on Preston Street, it paved the way to our new direction for the company. So we're very excited to be doing commercial projects now, and we have a few on the roster as we go. And we're going to still keep the client base that we used to work on in housing, and we're just going to keep moving the needle forward. So that's the plan. So having this podcast here is an honor, and I'm glad you chose it.
Well, I'm glad to have you on.
Likewise.
And to sort of double click on something, I want to make sure we give some context to the listeners as to who we have on. So a lot of the time when we bring on a guest, the whole philosophy is business lessons without the scar. In other words, let's take people who have been in business, made a lot of things work, messed up in a whole bunch of different ways, learned a whole bunch of lessons, and then hopefully that our listeners who are tuning in can take from that and maybe be able to be a little bit wiser with the decisions that they make. So really what I want to dive into and double click on for some context. So you're running a firm here in Ottawa, you've got your own building, and you're looking after primarily what I understand to be is commercial tower projects. That's the aspiration. I'd love to, I'm not going to do this justice.
Yes, you want me to
I'd love for you
clarify.
to clarify on that side.
So I'm an architect, essentially. I'm licensed in Ontario and in Quebec.
Yeah.
And so essentially we were niched and focused on high-end housing for a decade, from 2009 to 2019-20, right before the pandemic that happened. And once the pandemic did happen, and we were early 2020, and we were doing this particular location where we're sitting at right here as a big retrofit conversion project. While the other projects that I had on the go that kind of all faded off because everybody was scared and uncertain, we powered through this most impressive endeavor, and it was like the best gift ever, because essentially what we did was we focused on something of a huge scale that literally would have taken a substantial amount of time to do, and we were able to do this project at the right pace, since that we had all the closures. We didn't have we couldn't skip a beat or miss a step. So it gave us the luxury of being able to do it and do it right, and then understand the formula for this type of conversion projects that we were able to do and learn we learned the formula, but now we can do it on the bigger scale is where I'm going for.
Converting from the old industrial to modern.
And then the commercial, all the high rises that we have that are defunct or vacant right now, that we want to transform them into residential.
The office building.
This office, so we're doing a lot of research on which one of these, opportunities we're trying to jump on. And so we've been making connections and trying to build that network and go to different conferences around. We've gone to Toronto, and there's quite a few different developers out here who do it, leading by example out in Calgary and Edmonton and Toronto and New York. And our goal is to make Ottawa better. I've heard a certain person say, let's make somebody great again or something great again. Well, I subscribe to that.
For Ottawa.
For Ottawa, right?
I love that.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, just raise the bar. We have to raise the bar, and we can't be satisfied with the status quo. There's no reason.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I was going to save this question until later, but you've sort of teed me up to ask this at this point. But there's always within industry a old way and a new way of doing things, and both sides typically don't agree. And there's typically somewhere in the middle where you can meet. but I'd love to know from your side within architecture, how do you feel like you see things differently? What would you love to see in the industry? What are some things that you see are changing? For someone like myself who's maybe not in the industry, I'd love to get a bird's eye view of what your opinion on that is.
Yeah, I think that Ottawa's is so behind every other province in this country. It doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be. There's so much risk aversion, and that has to change. That we have to change the script. I mean, like, why should this city have only one high-rise that's 45 stories? It doesn't make sense that we're so conservative and we're so close-minded. We don't want to do that, or whatever high-rise that's getting built is going to be square box. So, you know, we need to explore opportunity. And there isn't one big name architect project in this city aside from the local ones. Why is that? I mean, why is Toronto getting all the action and all the fun? And Montreal still is a bit slow there too, I have to say. So, you know, we have to change that narrative and bring in some excitement into the city and put design as a priority also, because without that, there's no innovation and we're just stagnant. And we need to inject excitement. And that new high-rise Releve that just got opened up this past week, you know, I put a post about it because that's the direction we need to go, and we need to do that a lot more.
I agree. It'll bring more tourism. It'll bring more excitement to the city. I think I'd love to see more creativity in the city. For one, I agree with you there. There's a lot of stuff that I think Ottawa is behind on. I mean, you look at Toronto, even Montreal, in terms of the size of the city and the excitement. I mean, we're the capital. I'd love to see that hunger from Ottawa as well.
And there is no lack of money.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
just have to divert the resources in that direction. Yeah, the conservative nature of this city, you know, those days should be kind of numbered now. We have to have people who embrace design and want that to be a predominant feature. And I want to be, and you know, I aspire to be one of the leaders to make that change.
Yeah. How do you feel like? I mean, there's a lot of friction from what was just said to go from here we are. You know, we're conservative. We're trying to keep costs down. We just want to build these boxes that look just like everything else because that's the cheapest thing to do, and people are still going to rent them. What does that look like to change from there to starting to see more buildings like you see in Chicago and in New York and in Toronto and, you know, some of the most beautiful architectural places in the world?
Yeah, it's just having visionaries, you know, that are willing to take that extra, you know, initiative and take that risk. And there is no way it's not going to pay it forward, because the reality is once one person does it, it's just like 4-minute mile. Once you break that, and then the other person is excited that, oh, someone else did it. So great, this project serves as the example. Let's keep it moving. Oh, I'm going to beat that guy, so I'm going to one up that person. And we're not talking about height. We're not talking necessarily about all that stuff. It's more like who's going to make the next statement project or high-rise project or, you know, development that's going to answer the needs of the city with housing shortages, be creative, put a design competition, something to inject life and just bring the focus back into the downtown core in the way that it should be.
Sort of a domino effect that you can.
It has to be. It has to be like we need a developer competition, and not for how cheap can I build it. It's how great can I build it.
There's a lot of cookie cutter houses.
That's it.
There's a lot of them.
Yes.
And towers.
People have gotten comfortable with the cost of, you know, how to limit the budget. Yes, these are big budgets. So government has to have incentives for us too. So it has to be two ways. If there's a developer willing to pull in the money to make this come together, then, you know, we need the government to step in as well and give developers incentives and facilitate development to make the process more seamless.
Are you hearing that from other peers, other people in the industry who say we want to design more, we want to build cool things, but we are at the liberty of the builder, the client, the budget?
Yeah, of course. It's all of us. You hear it in you know, the grapevine. It's there. We all know we all want to do creative things. Some of us want it more than others. I.e., case in point myself, because I thrive on this stuff, and creating is a gift and a blessing and a joy. And the minute I get on that hamster wheel, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Once you're in, right?
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to be able to drive that that design and create a language and push the envelope and create a product that the city's going to enjoy. Yeah, and they're going to
it will last,
remember.
and it will leave a reputation, and it won't fall apart, and it has all the same glass panes on it, and
right. That's it. It's and the execution and the commitment from the beginning to the end with the developer and the clients and everyone in the back. Everybody has to play the same game, and everybody has to have the same intention and the same motive and goal. And if that happens, then you can create just about anything.
I love that. Is there any particular thing, development, talk about something that you're really excited about that is upcoming in Ottawa?
One of the projects I'm working on is the Blackstone that is Stittsville. It's a fun little restaurant lounge hub that's getting that's under construction right now. So that's gonna be good for that community because people who can't necessarily, it's a little far out there to come to downtown, can have an area for them to explore and enjoy and make a community impact, right? So that's good for that team. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that's gonna bring everyone together.
When that's expected to open, or
somewhere at the end of November, let's say early
soon,
December, sooner than later.
Definitely have to check it out.
I feel like every project is like 2028.
Yeah, that's why I asked. I'm curious. People are gonna be asking me, hey, when's this gonna be?
It's been in the back under the construction for a while. The housing portion of it, because it's in a residential development area, so that's going to come together. Hopefully, let's say before let's say November, December.
Love that.
So that would be good.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
That would be good. So there's lots of little, what do we call it? Stuff in the fire, but still just trying to come together. So not all of things can be discussed, but really the idea is to have a little bit more of that and then engage into bigger and better development scale projects.
I love that, and that sort of allows me to pivot to the business side of things. So when you typically think of left brain, right brain, and people that engage, there's the creative side and the up in the air, the exciting, all the different great things, and then there's the really tactical, very specific, detail-oriented, other side of the business brain. You're kind of balancing both right now. I'd be curious to know how you manage that, what that looks like. If someone else was listening and maybe they are a creator or they are someone that is in a similar role to you, how do they manage it?
Get the best people around you sooner than later. Earlier the better. Be surrounded by people who can help you navigate that faster. As a creative, as actually architecture in itself is a combination of left brain, right brain, as it is. Because you're blending science and creativity together, all in one. Now, the component to that is some architects are more business oriented and some are not as great in design. And then that's where you have to associate with people who have complementary strengths to you. And when you're a solo proprietor, like I've been for the majority of my career, since I've opened my own business, it's been just like the excitement of creating the brand, putting the output, being proud of the work you've created, and really making sure that you are providing top-notch service and output and brand recognition. You're getting awarded, you're getting published, you're doing all the right things to be seen at the top of your field. But yes, that's where it would be the best to have that complementary business savvy person to help generate the leads and keep that momentum flowing. So the answer is it's always good to have somebody else in your team to be able to fill in the gaps where you can't, to keep the engine moving. So you don't have any gaps or ebbs or flows, and keep it as sustainable, and then that's how the practice gets built, right? So that's where I would put energy in the younger partnerships. They should come together and say, hey, you're better at design, so you know what? We'll lean on you for that, and you're better with the numbers and the personality. You can get the business, and we can kind of team together when it comes to presentations, and then you can bounce off numbers, and I can bounce off.
So know your strengths, and
I can make the client dream, and you can sell them on the price, and together we create out this you cannot miss this opportunity, reality versus one person doing it all. So, but yes, that's what I've been doing because this has been my journey.
Yeah. You touched on leads quickly. It's something well, as a salesperson, we both pretty heavily into sales. We love sales theory, sales, generating leads, because honestly, as a business owner, that's the foundation of creating a great business, is having a great pipeline. How do you generate leads? Are you someone who's an event person? A lot of sole proprietors are word of mouth. So you have such a good client and you just crush the project, and then they love the project, and then you lean on them for referrals. How do you generate business? I mean, say someone's new, whether it's architect or not. What would be some tips that you have for them? How do you get new business, and how do you keep a business steady? Because that is the most difficult part, I would say, about a business. Struggling myself.
100%. So, just coming back from the Tony Robbins Business Mastery event, the two keys to success is innovation and marketing.
I love that.
So that's one of the top takeaways, and obviously it seems very straightforward and obvious, but
it's not.
Most people get lost in the weeds, right? So so long as you're innovative, well, I was doing that.
Thumbs up.
But I wasn't marketing. So because it's like de facto
one or the other.
My marketing strategy for the longest time was, okay, it's all good. You just keep winning awards. You're good at that, or you can produce because you live, breathe. It's your passion. It's what you do, and you're getting recognized for it. You're getting the awards. You're getting published. So it would lead to business, but within the framework of what I've done. And then the bigger the projects, the more exciting the job. It's just people are not familiar with it. So it's like you're showing the city a whole new brand of architecture that didn't exist. And it's true, it didn't exist because there's a few types of models that are like so out there that 10 years later it still looks like a futuristic project. And I was able to explore these projects and bring some of those details into reality, but into different form, not exactly some of those actual designs, but the point was it's like to bring that awareness to the city and show people what's possible. And no, you don't necessarily have to have what your neighbor has. And it's okay to have something unique and different, because that's how the city grows. Instead of having the same flavor of ice cream for the rest of your life, right? And it's like vanilla is yummy when you can have it once in a blue moon, or you can put it in your coffee. But at the end of the day, if you don't try all the other multitudes of options, then you just have a very bland city. And that's where we're headed. We're kind of in that space. So I do appreciate all the people in the city who are trying to make that difference, and it's an uphill battle. As much as we're trying to get more of that. And then of course the economy and the state of the world and post-pandemic reality and tariffs, all the things that have been going on has kind of stable, let's put it this way, it's stunted the growth for a little while. And you can see it's impacting everyone in the construction industry, and we're hoping for this tide to turn, but it's not obvious. So brand awareness, marketing, it's has to be top of the list of things to do, and that's what I'm trying to do more of right now.
So correct me if I'm wrong, when I was doing research, one of the things was that you guys are trying to be very cohesive with environment or sustainability. Can you touch more on that? Because as someone who's not in architecture, I have no idea how you include sustainability into a project. How do you do that, whether it's big, whether it's a smaller project? How do you put that at the forefront of your business? If that was correct.
Well, of course. I mean, it depends. All the materials that you choose, locally sourced, is this something that's going to take too much energy to produce? Things like this are your selection, and all the pieces together that you put will make the impact of how this project will serve its owner, right? And then whatever we can do to reduce, all the cost of running the building. If you're able to get geothermal in there, if you can get radiant heating, you can implement all the things. Your window panes, if you can get triple glaze, if you can do all the things that you can to help in keeping that product sustainable and green as much as you can. I mean, LEED is available, but that's not what we're touching necessarily. We're trying to make it still affordable. We're still trying to incorporate as much as possible. And that's the direction we have to go, and that's what everybody has to be consciously aware of as we design.
Amazing. Thank you.
Yes.
That's great.
So, yeah.
It's hard to conceptualize, right? I guess when you're not a part of it.
Yeah.
And it's cool because you've got the business aspect, but then you've got the subject matter expert. And that's obviously where you thrive, and that's why people pay lots of money for the things that you do, is because you are the expert.
They want that.
Or at least that's what we hope for.
That's the idea. That's the idea.
But,
yes.
No, that's really interesting, and I guess that kind of ties into something else that I was going to say. So, I guess going back on what I touched on before, and this was my other double click here is.
I like that term, double
click, zoom in, zoom
right,
out.
I like that. Yes, I've never seen it as a context of a podcast
You know
before.
what? I heard it one time and I said I'm going to steal that.
Yes,
and
that's great.
And that's pretty much where my entire vocabulary has come from. So, but I did want to ask back on the focus point is, I guess in terms of running the business, you have your focus, you have the things that you're doing, you have shiny object syndrome, you want to stay focused, you want to balance all of the things that come together. Are there any specific tactics that you've used to say, this is a really cool thing that I could do, but I should probably be working on this in terms of task prioritization, knowing what to do, staying organized? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, what's the tunnel vision, I guess? What do you tunnel vision on?
Yeah, you have to have different levels of goals. What's your long-term goal?
Correct.
And what are activities you can do to keep working on those goals to meet them? Getting to the high-rise world.
Yeah.
It's a long-term goal, but I have to feed that every single day in different ways and do the research I can and connect with as many developers as I can and show what I've done. So the networking aspect is huge on that level. And then on the day-to-day activities, it's keeping your finger on the pulse and seeing what's needed right now, what we can do imminently, right? Yes, the luxury home space is something that's kind of at the moment a bit on the back burner because people need to capitalize on their properties, and with the zoning changes and the new stuff the city's implementing, that's allowing people to make money off their lots, right? So we're able to do R4, we're going to be able to do multiple units, but that's a good thing. It's another drawback at the same time, because then you have someone who has a luxury home they just built a couple of years ago, then they're going to have this multi-unit next door to it because it's allowed. And so there's going to be an interesting dynamic or flavor that's going to emerge in the next little while. We're going to have to observe that, because that's the danger, but also the excitement. Is this going to turn out well? As long as the architects are implicated to be able to not just create a builder box. We're going to have to be able to be creative on this, because the city definitely needs housing, and every scale of housing for the affordable housing, or at least to bring as much options instead of having people leaning on the suburbia, right? So that's it. It's going to be an interesting challenge going forward to see how we're going to implement all the new changes for the bylaws that have been given. It's going to be good because we're going to have more product out there, but how the cities are going to look with the variety, that's going to be something to see. It's going to have to be managed well.
What I'm curious about, which is the networking aspect, because I've heard this a bunch of mentors, but also just in general going through business, which is it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Absolutely.
Network is massive. Any business, any industry, career, anything. If you know the manager, if you know the owner, if you know the boss, you have a personal relationship with them.
Yes.
The last 4 or 5 jobs I've gotten were all word of mouth. It was all a personal relationship, connection through a mentor.
Yes.
And so I started doing investor relationship management for some of my AI companies.
Okay.
And you go to events, you meet people. And I find one of the easier things, if you have, a good personality, strong, very extroverted, it's easy to capture that attention, get a business card, even get their number. But what my question is how do you execute a good follow-up in your business? As in, how do you actually capture the business? Once you've gone to an event, you just met 5-10 people that you're like, okay, these are great people that I need to know in the industry. what's the follow-up execution? How do you actually go ahead and capture that business after you just went to an event?
Well, capturing the business is not a race; it's a slow
Yeah.
burn. In our industry,
Yeah.
you're not selling, like a $50 gift card. You're going to deal with building a relationship. So the answer to that is networking is about building relationships. So immediate follow-up, you take the business card, you write an email, you thank them for that connection, and you have to book that first meeting right away, right? So for me, for the last 2 years, my focus, as I've changed the direction of where this business is going, with the fact that the industry has changed, the way that the needs of people have changed, I've had to just focus immensely on building that network. And so what I would do is, I've got this beautiful office that I'm proud of. That is my walking business card.
Let's flex it. Let's get people here.
It's like my number
office.
one goal. I want to flex the office. That's
amazing.
it. I need you to come in here. I need you to see what I'm capable of doing. And if I can do this in this microscopic 700 square foot space and transform it from what it was, I believe you have enough belief in the process of architecture to know
quality.
that we're about to, we can deliver on whatever it is you need, just given the opportunities. So you build that relationship, you invite them over, you host them, you show the space, you speak about them, you talk about them, you listen to what they have to say, what their reality is and what their industry is, and how is there any way you can help them in any way, right? So that's the number one thing. And then you don't drop that one time, right? So you have to keep that as a person you should see. You can invite,
nurturing it.
you have to invite them at an event next time, and then keep putting that, or introduce them to someone that can help them. And just keep on, even if it's not a direct sale. It's like really learning about this person and investing in them, and hoping that one day when they do need a professional like you, they're going to remember you because you've created that relationship.
You built that bridge.
Yeah.
You touched on so many great points there. Amazing. So many of my mentors, super similar. They say it takes 5 to 10 touches to make business with someone. As in 5 to 10 meetings. One
5
touch.
to 10 years. Sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. No, really.
See,
And people are impatient. They're like, "What? Like I met him twice. Like he's not buying my product." It's like, okay, well, each industry I think has different touches, but also like once you're so deep into business, all mentors are like, hand him whatever relationship you can that benefits him. Go hang out with him. Get to know his family.
Right. Yes.
Don't rush. There is no business until it's a personal relationship.
No. As long as you got a roof over your head and food on your table, as an entrepreneur, as a young entrepreneur, your number one goal is to always stay positive, be helpful, to be ready to serve on any level if you can, and keep those connections front of mind. And if you created a good rapport with anyone, then just keep on working on that. Have a calendar reminder. Just you know what? It's been a month that I haven't seen Shane. Let me follow up with him and see how he's doing. And Jordan, what is he up to? And that I know he's building AI companies. I want to know more about you. So you're going to get another invite back to my office after we're done with this, and you're going to tell me what you're doing and how can I get in on this, right? So that's the name of the game. It takes time. It's been 2 years that I've been going at it in a different way. Here's another example. Just yesterday I was at a golf tournament, right? And so I live across the street. I'm at the Icon, and there was a guy who's in my building who I see all the time, and he's just another businessman, young guy as well. So ran into him at the golf tournament. I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, what are you doing here? It's like he's like, yeah, so I guess I'll see you back at home. He's like, but he actually didn't really know that my office was here. He didn't know. So we say hi, we talk about his dog and that kind of thing and whatever. But it's just like we didn't know each other well enough. But when you know that familiarity, you see the person in a whole different setting suddenly. You guys are click, right? So it gives you a moment to open that conversation up. It's like, I did not know that was you. I'm like, right across the street. I've been living in there for 3 years, and so did he, and I've seen him before, and we just never really discussed my business, right? And he's like, I do need an architect for a project, so I guess we're gonna come see you. I said, gave him my card again, even though it's down the street. I said, so there you go. That's 3 years later.
Business is right under your nose.
You ask me the question,
yeah.
and that's an answer, and it just happened yesterday. So golf is another thing.
Yeah.
I never
Golf
really
is
did
great.
as much
Yeah.
of it before,
Yeah.
and I'm not good at it.
Yeah.
But I've done it twice in 2 weeks this past year.
Oh,
So
that's great.
I'm ready. I got more equipment. I got more like the actual golf outfits.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, if I'm gonna do this, we're gonna do this right.
We're gonna look
Yeah.
the part.
I
Yeah.
gotta look the part, and I have to just keep swinging.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good one.
That's a
Keep
good one.
swinging.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. And I mean, sometimes you have to do things that you're uncomfortable with,
Oh,
right, as an
definitely.
entrepreneur. And so,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't imagine what it was like saying, you know, hey, I'm not a golfer. I don't know that golf is even my thing, but I know that this is an opportunity, so I'm going to
Yeah.
put myself in this place that I know I'm going to be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's okay because, you know, here's my objective and here's what I want to accomplish.
Well, I've kind of excluded myself from these things before because it's not my sport of choice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But that's where deals are made. Like it's not
Absolutely.
it's not how you. So I said, you know what? Like you said,
Yeah.
get uncomfortable, get out there, do it. Poke fun at yourself even if you have to in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then by the beginning of the event yesterday, they're making fun of my shots. By the end, they're like, "Wow, you've already
You've come
improved
a
a
long
lot."
way.
Most improved golfer.
I
yeah.
said, well, you see, all you have to do is just give me some time, and
Yeah.
I'll just like keep working on it, just like everything in life. You just get better as you
Yeah.
practice.
Well, and how you do one thing is how you do everything.
This
And
is
so
true.
I had a mentor say this once. It was also promoting I get into golf about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And they said there's no better sport than golf because
Yes.
it's the most amount of time you can spend with someone uninterrupted.
Yes,
Oh, that's amazing.
And
that's true.
That's
I was there
amazing.
the whole day with the same crew, right?
yeah, yeah, and
Yes, that's a good point. Yeah.
and then the step further to that is when you spend enough time with someone, you figure out exactly who they are.
Yes.
And you can't really hide who you are, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you know how you play golf. If you're cussing and swearing at the ball, you have no patience. You're
Right.
angry. You're driving
That's a
fast.
very good
You're
point.
reckless.
Yes.
You know you're not maybe the best person to do business with, but if
That's
you're calm and you
true.
have a good attitude
Yes.
A lot of reads.
and you're resilient,
Oh.
you know it's interesting. When next time you go
That's
and
a
play
very
golf,
good point because I was so, like concerned about my outcome and what I'm doing. I wasn't really focused on how the other ones are behaving. Yeah, you would say, oh, like yelling at themselves for missing the shot, but it's true. I mean, now that you think about it,
Mhm.
you remember a bit more of how everybody reacted, and it's a very good point.
A lot
So
of
I
reads
will-
for sure. It's
Yeah.
like a poker game.
Yeah,
You're-
yes.
All the small little reads you can have on.
well,
someone.
it's like the difference between being not good at something and good at something. They say the difference, when you learn a script or when you learn something, is that you can now stop focusing on trying to do it right,
Yes.
and you can now start focusing on the other person that's in the room or the other
Right.
thing that you're doing.
I love
and,
that.
and so, when you're reading a sales script, if you're not thinking about your script, you can watch the person.
Yes.
Are they reserved? Are their
Yes,
hands closed?
yes.
Are their arms crossed?
Yes.
Are they
Yeah.
open? Did they drink
Yeah.
their water?
Yeah.
Are they quiet? Are they loud? And you can sort of, right,
Yes.
which is interesting.
Yeah. Well, okay, cool. Yeah, that's good. I like it. I
All
like
the
that
more
little
things,
lesson.
the passing of knowledge. Right?
There you go.
Passing of
From-
knowledge.
Yeah.
But have you started golfing?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
golf. I mean, mediocrely.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I always have a
Certainly better than
smile.
Yeah.
I have a smile, and I make it act well when I do it. So.
There you go. Well,
Um,
yes, that's a good plan.
Yeah, and so that brings me to another good point. Knowledge building, investing in yourself, learning, the idea behind, am I going to go take some time to learn something, or am I just going to grind out and do more sales activity, do more XYZ, work on the business, versus working on yourself? How do you feel about podcasts, personal development, learning, knowledge, and what sort of role does that play in your world?
It's priority, actually. It's priority. If you're not learning something new every single day, even if it's 5, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and planning for what you want to learn next and how you're gonna get that experience that you're looking for, then what are you doing? Because you're never gonna, like if you're just not learning, you're going backwards. And then in the fast-paced world that we're in right now, AI-driven world that we're in
Yes.
right now, actually that's kind of an interesting direction because people are not going to lean on I don't know, I think they're going to lean on as much as learning,
Yeah.
or they're going to rely more on ChatGPT. It's going to be,
Yeah.
and all the other AI
Still have to
platforms
build it.
available.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe architecture is going to be around,
For
and
sure.
and yes, it's going to create a different dynamic, but this creative space is still not something that a machine's going to just do, and
No.
then the human's not going to be part of it. So we have to be embracing this new technology as quickly as possible. We have to incorporate it into our daily in every which way we can, whether it's accounting, whether it's in presenting, putting documents faster, all of those things. Because design, listen, when you have the gift, that's the easiest part, right? For us, for some people who don't have that skill, they partner with someone who can, which is what we were talking about earlier. Now they're going to all think that they can still do it because they have AI to help them. I think that's still going to be a rude awakening, because a machine is not going to create better than a human can when it comes to putting all the pieces together and making sense of a space that's designed for an individual in the context. I believe that we're not there yet. So I don't know if it's going to ever get that. Is it going to be sentient enough for this to happen? I believe I'll bank on myself. It's fine. I'm still able to believe that that's not going to be something that's going to be taken away from me. It's just going to get enhanced by the additional skills I'm going to be able to get through these AI.
Yeah, absolutely. And I asked this question to tee you up as well, because I know you just got back from a incredibly prominent seminar, investing in yourself.
Yes.
You flew down. Is it 5 days?
5 days.
For the legendary Tony Robbins Business Master class.
I love Tony Robbins.
So
the legend himself.
You know, the legend himself is well said.
Yes.
And you had the chance to be there in person in the arena, clapping, yelling, cold, as I hear.
Yes, cold.
Many things. I'd love for you to sort of take us in the world of those 5 days, some of the big takeaways you had, what that was like. It's a big investment to attend that event.
It is.
One that not everyone ever gets to do.
Yes.
I'd love to get maybe an insider scoop on what it was like, what you learned, and some of your takeaways.
Yeah, definitely. He was someone that I'd been listening to for a while, and I did his UPW last year, and it was like my first access to him. It was a 4-day event as well. It was virtual, and I knew that I needed to be in presence of that energy, and I didn't believe that virtual was going to cut it. When it came to the business mastery. Now, one thing is serving the human and your own needs and your own diving into you and what makes you tick and what you need to become a better person. So that the UPW is a lot about your own self and learning what makes you tick, what's your weakness, and focusing and honing in on that, and then allowing that time to guide you to make those next steps. For me, I was ready for it, but the business mastery was something on the very first, one of the very first things I wanted to tackle. I wasn't able to do it last year with timing and everything, and the launch of the office event and all that stuff that was happening. So I needed another year to keep on building those relationships, and then I'll be ready this year. So that was a goal. And so going there, you're now in a room for 1,600 different business-minded people who are equally as fully invested, because UPW is one thing, it's a very small investment. And this one is like everybody who's all in, and some people probably put in whatever they had to do this, some people go there regularly, yearly. That's what surprised me. Okay, so he has a whole different group of people. So then there's the platinum groups that go all the time. So that's a very heavy membership, and if you're a big player and you believe in the connection, because now if you're a platinum, you're rolling with platinums. So people who can equally either brainstorm with you and create with you, or invest in you, or you can invest in them, and suddenly you're growing within that group, right? And you're having these mastermind events, and you're traveling together. It's a whole other lifestyle that I was able to tap into just by being there and learning, connecting with them and drinking with them, and just getting to know some of these people and what their businesses are and how they started, where they started from. And a lot of these people came to his events for over the last few years, and it was really eye-opening. And the commitment of the people there, like we all came in from all over the world. So it's like you have to be a heck of a force to bring that many people from all walks of life to come into your space to share in your knowledge. And there was no lack of that. He certainly had a lot of different big players and people who were presenting, and speakers of high caliber who were touching on all the things we've been talking about, like innovation, marketing, branding, Story brand guy who's great. There's so many good presentations. There was a gentleman in his late 80s, I would say, who was presenting about just accounting and reading the books. Most people don't even know how to do that stuff. And how do you understand your balance sheet, and how you can speak the same lingo with your accountant. And some people an architect necessarily wouldn't be able to really have that expertise unless they're leaning on their accountant. But you can be equally as engaged in the conversation if you have the basic tools to get in on that, and then be able to follow it and just decipher this type of information. And then of course you go deep dive into that, and then you can take the notes and keep on studying them and trying to process them and implement as much as you can step by step. But yeah, so the relationships you're making, the topics, AI also subject. Dan Martell was there, and he's a coach of one of my friends also, and so he's like, I mean, it was very eye-opening. He was like the end speaker, I think, the last one, I believe.
Is Dan Martell from Ontario, I believe?
I think so, yeah. Okay,
because I know some of my friends have met him in Ottawa. He was visiting here.
Yeah.
His wife, maybe, or some of his family lives here.
That's right. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and he's very well known and respected here as well. So it was great to see what he's doing, and he's like been in the AI space for the last 15 years, 10 years, crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good to know that there's hope, and he's just giving you all the tools. Like, listen, you want to know what to do in AI? Ask AI what to do to get the answer. I mean, it's that straightforward. Yeah. You have to speak to AI as if you want him. The prompting in the world of AI is everything, right? So, these are things that I wasn't. It's not my day-to-day operational system. So it has to be now. So it has to be yesterday, but now is better than
it's a brand new tool. It's hard to understand. Even like my business partners are so deep into it, so they're going to talk mumbo jumbo. You're never going to know what they're saying.
Yeah.
But my job is to then go explain to someone why they need AI in simple terms, because I don't know all the I know a good amount of software engineering terms now that my two close friends and business partners are constantly talking about it, and I'm in meetings and I'm listening. But do I understand everything they're saying? Sometimes I just go off for 30 minutes, I'm just going to mute, you guys do your thing, I can't follow along. But then when I have to go then explain it, it's really exciting, because I'm like, okay, how do I present? It's usually a lot of analogies, a lot of simple terms. We're picking up a new tool, this is how it's going to improve your business, here's what it's going to bring. Because if you start talking software engineering terms, it just seems like ChatGPT, Grok, all the systems are so advanced, it would just turn someone off. It'd be like, no, these are actually great systems. You just need to explain it in a way that it's even ball field for everyone.
Yes.
And not just someone who's been studying this for 5 to 10 years.
Exactly.
So it's super important.
Which you can do if you have the understanding.
Exactly.
Like you were mentioning before.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like just the eye-opening fact is, you want to know what software that you need to do, the thing you need to do. Just ask AI.
Yeah.
It's going to tell you the best options, and it's going to lay it out for you. You're going to put it into perspective and to see what's going to be the most.
Yeah.
Make you a business plan or whatever you ask.
Right. Everything even like, okay, so what's the best tool I need to do these my daily posts on Instagram, and I want to have it inclusive in this. I want to include these images. I want to have this text that I wrote. I want this, and I put this all together. How do we make this? And there's a bunch of different AIs that will do that for you.
Yeah.
And it's not just ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just the basics, right?
Yeah.
So things like this, I mean, I knew that I didn't know, but it was good to be told you don't know, and that's what's out there, and take this whole list of stuff I've got for you and just use it. These are the prompts you would use, and this is how you're going to do it. And so I'm excited, actually, to start learning this whole new language.
Yeah.
Because that's what it is.
I
speak 5 languages, but apparently I don't speak AI yet, so we have to get into that.
And I know you have a language question.
Yeah,
I want to double click. I feel like I'm saying this too much now.
Zoom in now.
You got me. Zoom in, double click,
in,
whatever you need to do. So at this, I don't even want to call it a seminar because I feel like it's so much more. But at the event, was that
it's an event? Yeah, it's an event, not a conference necessarily. It's
So when you were there, what were some of the really big, oh my gosh, wow, this is amazing big takeaway, shock, surprise things that happened for you?
Well, AI was one of them,
AI was
right?
one.
That was like, not that I didn't know that it's where we're going, but it was, like I said, these things, the tricks and the way he was explaining it, how to get this information, that was one of the highlights for sure. And the simplification of the spreadsheet guy, the way he was explaining, I think his name is Keith Cunningham. I'm sorry if it's wrong, but I believe that's his name. He was amazing. I mean, the guy full of energy, and it shows if you have passion for what you do. He could be 85, 87 years old, and he was poured his heart out on the stage, and he believes in what he's doing. He believes in Tony, and he believes in the people come to see Tony, and there's a reason for it, because people here are all living their life the same way. And then, it's great to be another thing is all the people committed to their own personal growth and learning, right? Look at that. We're around 1,600 people in person who are doing the same thing, and you might feel like you're alone in your own little world and trying to learn new things, and your friends are poo-pooing you and not understanding you, or you're not on the same wavelength or page, because to them it's a government job they do. They don't necessarily care, or they don't, who do you think you are, blah, 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 all that stuff. But being in a room full of people who are doing the same as you, that's exciting, right? And then the conversations that ensued while you're there, which is exactly why I wanted to do it in person versus doing it at the virtual one, right? I mean, like I said, it's great for it's great for the people who saves them from the travel and all this stuff, and if you can allow yourself that one opportunity, because you just never know where that's going to lead you. And then within that space, you have coaching that they offer as well, and and tapping into this other reality, and then the follow up, which is really good, and I'm looking forward to being able to start implementing, or being guided by the coach for the implementation, because it's overwhelming. It's definitely overwhelming, right? I mean,
so
as much as information and industry I have to learn things on my own, it's another thing to spend 5 days with this much content, and you're furiously taking notes, and you're like hoping it all stays in, and it's not like you can record any of it, but you can just process it daily, review it, kind of see action items. And the idea is to do a step at a time. Like, there's only so much you can perfect in a day, So there's that. What else was an aha moment? You just learning about where your business is in its own season. Like, what season is your business in? And what season are we in as a global, in the world today? Like, we're in the winter season right now. Things are like, a bit more challenging, and like people are having a harder time, economies, whatever it is. But where are you in your business? Like, not everybody's suffering the same challenge, and then you learn all the different phases of a business, and that was eye-opening. Like, okay, so I'm really much in the earlier stages than I would have believed, right? Because we're not in the maturation part yet, and we're still in the growth part, but we have to make some substantial moves in order to get there.
It's important to identify where you are as well.
Yes.
That helps you execute. It's okay, let me identify where I'm at, and then let me pivot from here. Because if I don't know where I am, then I'm running blind.
Exactly. And that was there's discomfort in there. There's no question. It's not like you didn't expect there to not learn anything. You have to face the reality of what it's telling you, and then if you want, the reason you went there is to learn things, to change things, to get better, and to do better, and to provide better. And at the end of the day, when your service is offering the best it can, it's because you've done all these things. And so it's just, that's
the cycle. It's funny how that works. Is you say, I want to do thing, you do thing, exactly what happens when you do the thing happens, and then you're like, oh, that's actually now too much. But you committed to it, and then it's a cycle, right?
Yes.
But that's exactly.
It's like golf. You have to keep practicing. You have to keep giving that attention to and feeding it daily. With the next thing, you're like, oh yeah, that tied into that. That makes sense now. I can see it. That's going to move forward. Okay, that'll drive the industry better. So I was already in the process of doing the marketing stuff. So now I know how to direct the people doing the work better by the messaging. And then again, the core message. The other thing was like, know your audience. Again, who is your client?
That's a big question.
Like, who is your real client? And then again, for me, I've been evaluating that, right? Because I'm trying to course correct now, trying to get into commercial space, and try to but it's not happening overnight.
Yeah,
yes, it did happen with the
okay.
commercials where you're sitting in right now, and that was a great leap forward. But but it came from someone I directly knew.
Yeah.
Now you have to get more people like that to know who you are, and how do you do that? Through messaging and marketing, and keep that dialogue open.
What's your ideal customer profile? ICP is a huge thing in all the businesses I work on. It's like constantly identifying, okay, and if we identify it and switch, that's not just something, it's like, okay, well, we're turning the entire business shifts if
That's
our
what
ICP
happens.
changes.
That's
so
what I'm doing. Exactly.
it's a lot.
Yeah, like I said, because I was just, my messaging was going straight to the housing world only.
Yeah.
And I was satisfied until I was satisfied. Right? I was satisfied until I was kind of full. Okay, I feel like I've reached where I want to be, and I'm not. I'm just like there's missing. I'm missing
hungrier,
stuff. I'm
lots of
hungrier.
different
This
keys,
I've kind of had enough of this. Not that I have enough. I need to just get into the bigger stuff. I needed to explore all kinds of different directions, and the customer identity was a bit of a challenge, because it's like, okay, but how do I get to that next person, and how do I target that next person, and how the lead's going to come to me? So working on your Google presence, your social media output. I mean, there's just, like you said, solo person, it takes a while.
I call it your online real estate is just as important as your real life real estate. This is important.
Yes.
How someone looks at your website is just as important as this office. How someone looks, is the website on mobile actually different than how they look on a laptop? What if I just sent my link to a business partner, a friend, or a client, and they're going to be forwarding and sharing this, and then they open it up on their phone and it actually looks disgusting on the phone. There's so many little online real estate is so important.
Something we're fixing online right now.
Yeah, I built a lot of websites with one of my close friends and business partners. That's what we started doing. We would sell 2 websites for $10K, and that's like website sales. I've got that down pat. There's a million things that people.
How many did you say?
We would sell 2 websites for $10,000.
Oh, 2. Why? What do you mean by 2? Like why 2?
Or just a package deal.
Okay.
It's just like a call-in package deal that we would do.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Like a company might need 2 different ones.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot of companies. What they'll do is they'll create one website. Hero Pro Painting, and then they'll Hero Pro Flooring. Or another one is they'll actually create a generic one. So for example, I'm selling real estate in Calgary, calgaryrealestate.com, and now that funnel is going to be a lead generation for my actual website. So when you go to that website and you click on it, it actually just funnels you to your main website. So it's a way of branching and making more online presence.
Fantastic.
It's very
You're hired.
Yeah.
So
it's coming. Yeah, it's
all right.
I just had one last quick question I wanted to ask, which was, because I'm a huge language person, I'm studying languages, trying to study Arabic. I was raised bilingual, but I was studying Mandarin as well. How did the languages help you pivot? How does it help you grow as a person, as a business person, your relationships? What do you think the languages have influence for you?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
It's like people don't most people don't have that many languages, so it's like surprises them. And I believe, to me, it's like the more you know, the better it is, because it opens your passport to the world, right? So the fact that I already speak Armenian, and that's my and my natural given native tongue, thank you. So that's such a complex language with so many different sounds and intonations and stuff like that, that it makes it easy to learn other languages. But that's either me, or I believe that it is. It's made it much easier for me to learn English. Of course, I grew up in Australia, so English was technically my really strongest language. Then coming to Canada, I moved to Montreal, right? So we learned French right away. As hard as it was still like part of my compulsory journey, and I had no choice. And then in that high school I had gone to, we learned French. So not French, Spanish. So Spanish opens the door to the whole continent, and then you can go to Europe and go to Spain, and you can go to the Caribbean and South America. It's just like the world is your oyster. There's so many choices to travel and to explore and to practice, because when you go to those places, you get to practice it, and that's even better. And then Italian was another one that I was able to I found ease in learning it because I was immersed in an environment with many Italians where I was growing up, and then I just kind of picked it up, and I made Italian friends, and I listened to Italian music, and I just added that to my repertoire.
That's amazing.
And I know some Arabic words because I grew up in an environment there was a lot of in our family, so I know words, but I can't have a conversation fully. I could recognize what's happening and what you're trying to say, but if they only spoke Arabic, it would be hard. Right?
If they're talking smack.
Right? Yes, it's always easier to understand the tone about it. But so that's great for you to learn Arabic. Well, where? You don't have any? Do you have any Arabic blood?
No. People ask me all the time, but
you never know. You could have a parent that might be.
I have a lot of close friends who are Arabic, so it's just free lessons. And then I started actively doing Mandarin, but definitely learning the two hardest languages in the world at the same time is a little difficult. I'm trying to focus on Arabic now, and then I'll eventually pivot back.
That's right. Give yourself a chance to observe. That's great.
Yeah.
Then you can teach me.
There you go. Then you'll be at 6.
There you go. I'll be at 6 for real.
Well, you got the momentum now. You're at 5, so the 6 is easier.
Well, I've been at 5 for a while though.
Yeah.
It's not like
that pivot is hard. Once you stop growth, so.
No, but it's funny. I have so many random words that I grew up hearing in my family that I would be like, okay, so I know what that word is, and I could kind of piecemeal the concept of what we're talking about.
It's like my French.
Oh, okay.
It's stored in there somewhere.
Yeah, it's somewhere.
It's in the hard drive somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta access the file. So this has been amazing. I really want to tie the knot with one last question, which is, what's something you wish more people asked you about?
Oh, amazing.
Oh, ask me, but as a client, you mean, or
in general?
As you.
Yeah. No pressure.
That's a good question. What kind of question would I wish people ask me about? I guess what motivates me every day. Why people find it fascinating that once I speak of architecture, I just light up and.
Civil Illustrator.
Just the why.
It's my why, right? So to me, it's such an ingrained part of my life that it's hard to dissociate my profession from my identity. And I know you're supposed to do that, but it's very closely to just being creative is.
Yeah.
It just flows out of you, and then I wish it's something that people would do that for themselves, because a lot of people don't necessarily have that.
Yeah.
And so I find it fun that I could, just by engaging in conversation about architecture or anything in that space, it inspires people, because it's like, wow, it's so cool to see someone who's that passionate about something. It's like when someone leaves here, they have no doubt that I'm passionate about the work, and that I would be the go-to person if they need one, or remember you. And it's that having that kind of a way of impressing upon a person that you have to have passion in what you do, or you have to love what you do.
People are attracted to that too.
Yeah.
It's passion.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So when it comes to you, because you've been living it for most of your life, then that road is easier. And so I wish everybody can embrace that in their lives.
Yeah, I got some really, really experienced, great salespeople who've raised hundreds of millions of dollars. Someone we had on the podcast, actually, Alistair. He was the president of Guelph and Carleton, and I was like, give me fundamental, easy 2 words. What is the centerpiece of all sales? And he literally said, it's just compassion, it's just excitement. Can you have flair? Can you have that overwhelming, whoa, this kid is obsessed with this, he is on fire.
Yes.
If you can show that, all the little rubric, all the sales theory, all that can go out the window as long as you have that.
That's it.
So,
I mean, that's what I'm looking for in staff.
Yeah, exactly.
And to me, that's because to even go through the painstaking process of being an architect, if it's not something that you will die if you don't do, then just don't do it, because it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that's going to be pain-free. It's going to be full of pain, full of sleepless nights. It's full of failure, full of non-starts, and full of God only knows what,
Yeah.
and you have to be able to keep taking the hit, keeping taking the hit.
Eating glass and staring into the abyss.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. Elon's, you know,
Famous
statement.
quote, yeah, about
So
entrepreneurship.
it is what it is, and
Yeah.
and architecture is not something you can have your foot in the one and not in the other. No.
You're in or out.
You're not in it. Yeah, you have to be. I will die if you don't like, give me this job because this is what I have to do, and I will do it, and I will work
It's a
for
part
you.
of it.
And they tell you this stuff. It's like if someone talks to me like that, I'm listening. Okay,
Yeah.
let's
You know
see.
that they're gonna do their best.
Because that's the thing. It has to be an obsession, and
Mhm.
there is no
Mhm.
other way about it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And I'll end on this note is that the only way that you can get into rooms with people that you don't deserve to be around is with passion or with work ethic. So it sounds like you're doing all the right things, and I'm super excited to see where this turns into, and you know, maybe another episode in a couple of months when
Can't wait.
you know the boom
Yeah.
happens. So
All right.
grateful to have you here on the
Likewise.
breakdown.
Thank you.
And where can people find you? Where can they follow you? Where can they see what you're doing?
Well, the company name is HA Squared Architecture and Design. We're on
Yep.
Instagram, we're on LinkedIn, we're on Facebook, we're online. The website is ha2d.com. Email away for any questions. You can book an appointment, and you can be sitting right where you lovely guys are and have a nice conversation, and we can see how we can help you because we're looking forward to it.